Hi, this is Gail with Bernina of Naperville. And you know what? There's a new giant magnetic hoop on the horizon, and I'm just about to pick mine up from the store, and I can't wait to show you all the great little things about it. You know that it is actually larger than the giant hoop, the giant magnetic hoop, because we get all of the corners of our 12-inch by 16.1-inch field of the frame. That's pretty cool. And then also for some of you that just have trouble like hooping something into the hoop, it's going to be a lot easier, especially when I show you the hoop scoop that can really help you be a master hooper with the magnetic hoops. But first, we've got some housekeeping to do. So the first thing is we need to prep our machine, download our files, get them on the USB stick in the proper way, and update our machine. Now, for those of you, thank you so much that have already ordered the giant hoop from Bernina of Naperville. I really appreciate your business. And as a special thank you, we're going to be dropping a USB stick with this update right in there for you. So when you get your hoop, you unpack it, you're going to do all of the things that I'm doing to update the machine. Now, if you are like, I don't know if I really need you to help me do this, Scale, I'm going to show you on the computer how to download the file from the Bernina.com website, how to extract the files, put it on your USB stick, and hopefully everything will come out great, right? All right, let's go over to the computer for our first endeavor.
Okay, so I've got the USB stick here at my computer and I'm going to plug this in to my machine. Now, when you get the USB sticks from us, you're getting an 8 gig USB stick. We've formatted it, everything like that. So now I'm going to hop over to my computer so you can see the screen here, and my stick is blank. Now, the Bernina instructions want you to right click on your USB stick and they want you to check the formatting, and it should be FAT32. If it's not, you're going to have to reformat to the correct thing. However, since mine's already formatted this way, I can close and this is ready for my update. So now I'm going to minimize this and then I'm going to go over to the Bernina website, and it's bernina.com. And then when we get there, we're going to choose support, click on the Bernina model that you want, and there's our 990. And now when we scroll down, we can see the name of the update. This is version 44.04.03, right? And it gives us the instructions. So you can click on this to download the instructions and go step by step. It'll give you the firmware release notes if you click here, which is telling you what capabilities your machine is going to have. Now, with these release notes, I'm telling you, you are getting the ability to see the giant hoop. It's also giving you some performance enhancements, but we are not getting the features of the 790 Ultra with this free firmware update. Okay, that's coming down the road in the future. It is coming, but it's not ready yet. But for right now, we're just updating so that we can see the giant hoop and maybe, fix some things that we didn't even notice that we needed. Okay. So this is going to take a while to download this. So this is the actual firmware. You can see this where it says ZIP. That means that it's a zipped file. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on this. And on my computer, over here in this top corner here, that's my downloading piece. And it's going to spin its wheels for a hot minute, kids, because this takes a while to download. So let's just, you know, put our feet up, have some more coffee, and relax for just a minute. So while this downloads, I thought I would take a minute to tell you a little bit more about our trip to New Orleans. Now, I know you're probably sick of hearing about it, but I chronicle my life with you so I can remember what I'm doing because, my brain is not working as well as it used to. So one of the tours that we went on was a walking tour, a witch's walking tour of the Garden District. And we went with Hannah, who is studying to be a witch. Now, please don't think that all witches wear a pointy hat, have green skin, and all of these things. Witchcraft is kind of like a spiritual um, process and practice that, people of all religions can enjoy. All right. So if you don't believe in that, that's fine, no matter. We were just there for the fun of it, right? So, as you know, New Orleans is the home of Anne Rice, who brought us books like Interview with the Vampire and The Witching Hour and so many other things. Now, The Witching Hour is the first book in the Mayfair Witch series. And the Mayfair Witches later, she kind of merged it a little bit with her Vampire Chronicles. And as we know, Interview with the Vampire is the first book in the Vampire Chronicles series. I have read all of these books, including the mashup. And my favorite in the mashup series, where we bring the Mayfair witches in with the vampire world, is Blackwood Manor. I thought that one was pretty good. Blackwood Manor or Blackwood Farm, something like that. Anyway, so unfortunately, Anne Rice passed away in 2019 and left the very, very pop culture famous house on Second Street to be sold. Now, the house on Second Street was lavender and it had like this wrought iron gate. We read about it for a long time. And the funny part about this is the house on Second Street was indeed Anne Rice's real house. So when she published The Witching Hour, she published her own address. And part of that was to keep the identities of the actual witches in the Garden District secret because it's a small area and you can't do anything without somebody finding out about it. And the folks in the Garden District did not, let's just say, warm to the fact of having witches around. And there's documented cases that, people's houses were set fire to, bullying, all different kinds of stuff, right? So we're going from house to house, learning about these incidences that were happening and everything like that. But I just want to kind of share this one story with you because it's so weird. So there is the owner of Popeye's Chicken, also is from New Orleans and lives in the Garden District. And he popped up a restaurant in the middle of the Garden District, bright terracotta orange. Now, the Garden District has a lot of rules for what places should look like. So, for instance, the McDonald's in the Garden District is built to emulate the old Southern houses that are in the Garden District. But no, Mr. Popeye decided that he was going to have this bright orange fixture for everybody to be aghast at. So, of course, Anne Rice takes to pen and paper, writes an editorial in the Picayune, and says, I think that we need to make sure that this structure is repainted, blah, blah, blah. So, as you can imagine, in a battle of pen and paper, does Mr. Popeye win or does the eloquent writings of Anne Rice win? So, of course, Anne Rice won, and this dude had to paint the more suitable color. Keep that in mind. So now, as we're walking through, we pass the house on Second Street, and I'm like, why is this terracotta orange? This is supposed to be lavender or lilac or whatever. Well, it turns out that right after the house was sold, it was bought by an investment firm of some kind that really is quite rude to the tourists that are looking at this house, which is so iconic. And there's so many things about it, like, there are crowds that gather, all kinds of stuff, right? So anyway, one of the major renovations that they did to this house from the get-go was to paint it the exact same orange as the Popeye's Chicken house. So why? Why would somebody buy Anne Rice's house if they wanted to like change it in some way? I mean, isn't that kind of some of the appeal? Like, why would you even bother? So my question to you is, who is really the company that bought this house? Was it somebody to do with the Popeyes chicken guy who's kind of carrying a grudge because he really likes orange? I don't know. But when you head down to New Orleans and you want to do a tour of the Garden District, maybe you could do a little bit of investigating for me and kind of figure that out, right? Okay. So now I digress. Our download is ready. So now we can look up here in our corner and we're going to click it and we can see here firmware for the 990. It's completed. The little folder has this zipper on it. So now I'm going to go over into my folder here and I'm going to look for my downloads. And I'm going to see that it's just here like that, right? So the first thing that I want to do is extract it. Now, I'm going to extract this right on my downloads folder because I'm going to need to be making multiple USB sticks for you guys, like I said, because we're going to make them and put them um, in your hoop box for you straight away, right? You might be able to just right click and extract it right onto your USB stick. And this is how we're going to do that. So you right click, you see extract all, and then mine, if you see here, is going to put it right on my C drive under my downloads folder. That's what a path is called right there. However, you can do the browse and go find your USB stick and then select the folder and it'll put it just there. Make sense? And now, if you're extracting this onto a USB stick, this is going to take a little while too. So just, finish eating your banana, have some tea, just relax. Now, you guys are going to think I'm totally weird, but another thing that we did that I thought was a lot of fun is we hit up the Vampire Cafe. This is in the French Quarter. And the fun thing about this is there's like Muriel's, which is in Jackson Square. We ate there. It was delicious. And so then we start wandering around the blocks near there a little bit, and we discovered the Vampire Cafe. And it's really classy, I have to say. And the place setting was awesome. And you can get a drink in a blood bag. And that's, of course, what we did because, I like a good photo op myself. But then next to the Vampire Cafe is the little vampire store. And I picked up some books on the history of vampires in New Orleans. So I can't wait to read that. Oh, okay. So now this is completed and I can look on my USB stick and there's the update. So now what I'm going to do is safely remove my USB stick by ejecting it. I'm popping this back into my machine.
Okay, back here at my machine, I'm going to put this guy in, but here's something that's really important to do first. You want to unhook your module from the machine, and you don't want to have any other things connected. Now, I don't know why you would do this, but if you do have the external BSR, Bernina stitch regulator foot, you don't want to have that plugged in either. So remove that, right? So it doesn't matter what foot you have apart from the stitch regulator, but you're going to pop out any USB stick that you might have in it already, and then you're going to put your USB stick that you just created the file for, and then you see that a new firmware version is available. Would you like to update this firmware now? So if you are somebody picking up your update from Bernina of Naperville, you don't have to do the stuff that we just did. You're just going to take that USB stick out of your box and put it right in your machine after you've disconnected your module. Capiche? Okay. So now we're ready to go. If it pops up automatically, it should pop up automatically. We're going to hit the green check mark. And now we just chill out again and see, we can watch the screen, we can watch the news, we can check out what's happening on below deck, that kind of thing. Or you could simply just get excited watching Burnley do his thing. Okay, so now the firmware has been updated and it wants us to switch off and then on the machine. So let's go ahead and do that. And for some reason, I won't go and turn it on and off. I like to turn it off, take a beat, spell Bernina, then turn it back on. Okay, easy peasy. It's been complete. We can go ahead and select that. Oh, you can see that it's time for me to get my machine service. Forget about that. And then let's go look and make sure we've got that hoop, right? So we go into our embroidery settings. And let's just pick the hoop and see how big this awesome thing is. There it is. the Mag G, the giant hoop. All right, I'm heading over to the store to pick it up. Okay, that's it. It's done. So I just have one favor to ask you. So hang on for part 2 when I show you how to use the giant hoop and how it is bigger than the regular giant hoop. So we're going to use the giant magnetic hoop. I think I'm going to use it to make like a quick little in the hoop project or something. Stay tuned. And if you want to see other videos just like this one, or maybe funny videos, I don't know, maybe ones where I don't talk about witches and vampires, hop on over to our Bernina of Naperville YouTube channel. It's easy. It's youtube.com/Bernina of Naperville, and there you can like, comment, and subscribe. Happy hooping. This is my impression of Burnley. All right, see ya.